Management level city employees have not had a pay raise in 2 years. Are you in favor of giving them a pay raise, and how do you propose to pay for it?
I am in favor of everybody getting as much as they can possibly earn. However, if there's no money out there to pay these people, I think everybody has to bite the bullet. As I mentioned the other night, the incoming council took a real drastic cut from what the previous council was making. I personally wasn't affected by it, but the 3 new members came in, Mr. Lippman, Mr. Rapson, and Mr. Hayton were all affected by it. Mr. Gustavus and myself were grandfathered in, so we were in at the old rate. I don't think there's, according to the budget and what we have in the operating accounts and our reserves, I don't believe there's room to give everybody a massive raise at this point. So I think if one group has to bite the bullet, everybody's going to bite the bullet, and we all have to do what we have to do. And if I have the opportunity to be reelected, I am certainly going to come in and take a cut at the new rates as well. So, I mean, if I can't get it, why should anybody else get it? Personal opinion.
Aren't you actually getting a $4,700 pay cut every year to come back?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, Cindy?
I think that we would all like to see our city employees be happy, have the best benefits they can, all of them, and have the best jobs and make as much money as they can. Last time I ran 2 years ago, I was very concerned because we wound up doing some layoffs. And some of those layoffs wound up getting rescinded because they tried to then farm out to some other places. One of those things being the transcription of Cherry's, you know, when she does the thing, what do you call it?
Court reported?
Well, when she records the meetings.
Oh,
anyway. It's not a court report, but it's the same. And they found out that, gee, somebody could do that, and we could pay them in-house and give another Mesquite citizen a job. I think we have to be real careful when we're given pay raises for the fact that, yes, I realize that people need more money, their kids are growing, and I raised a house full of kids myself, I know how hard it can be. But do we really want our neighbor getting laid off because we had to pull money out of that pot? So if the money's not there, I don't think they can have pay raises. I mean, if we can find the money somewhere, but you know, we keep hearing that we're going to have a shortfall because of the C-tax this year. So hopefully some of the new businesses that are coming into town start paying more tax and things will get better.
This is a question because I don't know. The clerical people within the city are not part of the Teamsters Union,
Yes, they are.
They are. So it wouldn't matter. We're talking about the management people,
Who's not part of Teamsters.
and they're not
But
part of
even any of those people, that's what I'm saying, if we can't find the money for it. Like I said, we had people who got laid off, and I just used that as an example, because I don't think that the person that got hired back was part of the Teamsters. I'm just saying that we have to be careful with those dollars. There's a limited amount of dollars. Mesquite right now is in the black. We want it to stay that way. We don't want to wind up North Las Vegas or Henderson, or those places that are having problems.
Management level city employees have not had a pay raise in 2 years. Are you in favor of giving them a pay raise, and how would you propose to pay for it?
Can you repeat that? We couldn't hear you back here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Management level city employees have not had a pay raise in 2 years. Are you in favor of giving them a pay raise, and how do you propose to pay for it?
I think everybody should be taken as an individual on the job they do and merit if they should get a raise. I do feel that people who have not gotten a raise, and management, you know, a lot of times management takes it back so that the people under them are able to work. And I see where sometimes managers need to maybe cut back on some of their wages or some of their benefits. I know that there's a package and you have to have this and you have to have that, and that's one thing. But I believe that there can be costs cut back in management, just like I thought there could be costs and benefits that city council could be cut back in. I don't even think it would be so awful if city council didn't get paid at all. Or they got a minimum for the amount of time, the different meetings they go to, like some other organizations do. I think it all needs to be looked at, but I think funds could be there if it was merited on an individual basis.
That's okay.
Okay.
I would think that under Debbie, we have a personnel system in place that we know who are high performers. And I wouldn't want to lose a high performer because they have extraordinary value. So I agree with Sandra from the standpoint of the merit system needs to come into play. And if there's somebody that's taking on additional responsibilities, performing exceptionally well, they should get some form of an increase. Maybe it's just a token, but they should get the recognition that's necessary. I would not be in favor of across the board that the average city management employee gets the 2% that we spoke of on the firefighters. I would not be for that because I think they're quite handsomely compensated. But I wouldn't want to do a blanket freeze because I would want to make sure that I could keep my highest and most capable people because I think they're key to the success of the city. I also think that in the budget process, we are going to be challenged to find expense reductions to offset the consolidated tax decrease that we're going to have of some $1 million on an $18 million budget, 5-6%. But there may be some ways we can do that without looking at heads, but looking at functions and perhaps even using a zero-based budgeting concept to say, is this a necessary expense? Not can we hold the increase in that expense to 2% and pat ourselves on the back, but really get in the expense. Do we need this expense? Is it something that we can do without? So Andy and the city council have got a huge challenge on their hands to find a way to offset that without running an unbalanced budget and using some of our surplus. But remember, Mayor Weir told us, and from my review of the city financial statements, it's true. We are very financially solvent, and if we had to run a small deficit, we could. But the first thing is to look hard at the expenses, and that includes the payrolls. But I would not be so prone to hold expenses or cut expenses that I would run the risk of losing one of our stars.